A soulless skin, tired eyes, I cold every flicker of fear.
So he gets married on Sunday. What happens on the day of this blissful marriage? You know, the ceremony's happening, the nikah.
Yeah.
What is going through your head?
I was actually at home in bed at my parents' house.
Yeah.
And just talking to my dad, I was like, I need a divorce. This can't be happening.
Right.
You know, trying to convince my dad that, you know how like in Islam and Somali culture, I feel like it's important to like, nobody wants to automatically go through a divorce.
Yeah.
People will do their best to save a marriage, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Of course, divorce is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he made halal, but he doesn't, it's one of the things that he dislikes, and we get
like
it.
a last resort kind
Exactly. So in this situation, like my dad being like a religious and fair person that he is, he's trying to, I feel like, please his daughter, but also
Be objective almost.
of the situation. And I was just like, I don't understand why you're not making this over.
Yeah.
But I appreciate my parents like keeping me grounded in the moment, because
Looking back.
because even if I feel like, okay, if I had gotten divorced the next day, that still doesn't erase the pain.
No,
That
of course.
doesn't-
It happened.
That doesn't. It's just like more injury.
Right.
To the situation.
Right.
So I feel like when people say, "Oh, I would have just divorced him, move on," that's it. It's not realistic. You
Right.
cannot do that because you're emotionally shattered. You know, whether you like it or not, you cannot make certain decisions like that. So I was on the day of his wedding. I was at my parents' house. You know, just.
Which is, by the way, sorry, it's kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up, that statement. The day of my husband's wedding.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, you try to say that
It's
out
like,
loud. Like, as much as I know that it's halal, guys, like, I'm going to reiterate, we are not questioning Allah's word. You understand what I'm saying? It's in the deen. It's halal. Ilahi, like, that it is for wives. I understand that, but I'm just coming from, this is strictly emotional, right? So,
And we're
just to
women,
say that
you know?
statement, I don't know.
You know what? People always get offended when like women express their pain. Yes, it's halal, but our feelings are valid too.
Of course,
you know
100%.
And I got married. I got married so that we could both be like a team. And like when you're married to one man, it's like you live together Monday to Friday. Everything's together. So when a man has like another wife, you end up with like a part-time husband.
Yeah.
So that's something that I have to consider too. I feel like men, when they get married to other women, they only think of themselves. Like for him, Monday to Friday, he has a woman in his life. Doesn't matter which one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas the women now, their time is cut in half.
Of course.
So they don't see it from our side. You know.
The day you wrote on one of your posts, going back to the timeline, you wrote that on the day of the wedding he called you.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
He called mostly to check up on me. I feel like, in a weird way, he did still care about me. He was concerned about me because he knows what I was going through. But it was just like, to me, it just was bizarre. Like, you're calling me, you're checking up on me, you care.
Right.
Like, you know, but you're checking up on me, but you're the one who hurt me. You know what I mean? And you're still continuing with the thing that hurt me. So it was just.
Do you think it was a malicious, like, for him to call her?
That's the kind of.
I don't think it was. I honestly.
I
think genuinely he actually did care because he was like, he called me on his way to the wedding. He called me after his wedding. He called me.
No, I can't. On the way to the wedding, act like there's no. Is he checking up on her to see if she's gonna jump off the balcony? Like are you on the ledge?
No, I think maybe I might be wrong. Maybe is it like for him like fourth quarter? Let's see if this can still happen. Is that maybe?
Yeah, my mind did go there too, but because I'm the one who spoke to him, and I felt, and I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I in a weird way, I don't appreciate that he called, because it would have been weird, like it would have been more painful. He'd been like, okay, I'm getting married Sunday, and then just disappears and never calls, you know.
Right.
But just those little check-ins, as bizarre as they are, kind of sort of emotionally helped in a way.
Right.
I don't know how to explain it.
Right.
And I don't think he did it maliciously. I feel like no matter what, he already made his decision.
Yeah.
Maybe it was his form of like catharsis.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was just. I don't know what goes on in a man's mind, so.
And we'll come back to you because I have a lot of questions for you because you're the only man that's sitting here that I can ask these questions to. So so he called, and so the nikah happened. He's fully married to this woman.
Yeah.
He's married to you. You are now the first wife. She is now the second wife.
Yeah.
What happens next?
So, my life has to go on. Monday I go to school. And that's the Monday when I started like investigating stuff, finding her number and all that.
Right.
Tuesday again, I have to go to school.
Yeah.
And slowly, family, friends, people are finding out. Like people are coming over. It literally felt like a funeral because people would come over to the house and be like, "I'm so sorry this happened to you."
Oh, wow.
That doesn't help.
It doesn't help, and it made it worse. But then
Right.
I'm like, I actually appreciate it. I'm like, thanks for being on my side. You know.
Yeah.
I was waiting for somebody to come and just be like, just deal with it, just about it, because
Salawat.
that's not the time to say those kind of things
Yeah.
to people. And a lot of people actually did tell me, oh, if you had kids with him right now, we would have just told you, just suck it up and figure something out. But you're young, your options are still open.
You best
But
believe.
people don't respect the process. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just expect you to take it on the chin.
People expect you to make a decision then and there.
Out of anger, out of emotions.
Yeah,
right?
and it's like, I can make a decision. It's not the decision that's the problem. It's me in my heart, what I feel,
Yeah. When did you? So another post. When so moving on with the timeline.
Yeah.
When did you call her, and how did that play out?
I called her. I don't remember exactly when, but it was like a few weeks, I guess, after.
Okay.
What gave you inspiration to call? That's another one.
Well, the first time I called, I wasn't. Okay, so the story that he told me of how they met was, they met like 3 to 4 weeks before they got married, and she worked she has a bakery that she owns,
Right.
and he used to go there all the time, and they just kind of met from there. And she told him, like, she approached him one day and said, "Hey, what's up? Like, I'd like to get to know you." And he told her, "Yeah, I'm married," and she made it like a joke. "Oh, I don't mind being a second wife," like, kaftan. And
Kind of make light of the situation.
exactly. So that's
There's
how
always some truth to jokes.
So that's how they got to know each other. That's what he told me. Now, because I have family and friends who live in Edmonton, and people went to go see her.
Right.
Because Somali people, that's how we roll. People went to go see her and say, "Oh, why would you marry a guy who's already married?" Like, question her. And she told, like, I think 2 people that they met through Facebook a year ago, and that she was the reason why he moved to Edmonton. So now we have 2 conflicting stories.
Yo, this is what. Okay, continue.
So we have 2 conflicting stories. So my job was for my closure, I need to know who's lying.
Who's lying?
So that's where I got the motivation to call her, because I wanted to see, because I just felt like, honestly, up until that point, I felt like, why would she lie?
Right.
I was more focused on him.
Right.
Like, why would she lie?
Because she doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah, she doesn't owe me. She doesn't
like,
owe anything.
let's be honest. Let's not blame the other woman.
Exactly,
She doesn't owe you
100%.
anything. Your husband made a promise to you to love you, to be honest, to da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah, I understand in that sense.
So I'm like, I thought I'm calling her to be like, yo, this guy is lying to me. You at least be the one who's going to be honest to me.
Okay, woman to woman.
Yeah, so when I spoke to her, she said no. She went with his story. And she said, yeah, we definitely met 3 weeks ago. And I was like, so why are you telling people that you guys met on Facebook? And she's like, I never told anybody that. I'm like, so... Then that's when the plot thickens. Because to me, I'm like, okay, now this is mind games.
Yeah.
First you guys get married, then the story, it becomes, either... It's just, that's when it really got twisted. And
They
that's
sound
when
like co-conspirators.
Exactly. That's when I really got irritated, because I felt like I was being played in a way.
Like, is there something you're missing, kind of? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So she doesn't give you any. Is she? By the way, is she nice? Is she
She's
like
very nice.
It's gonna be okay?
No, we didn't even get into that. It was very like a very small conversation that we had.
Right.
Because I thought I had the confidence to hold a long conversation with her, but my first attempt I could not talk that much. And it was a very brief conversation, but she was very nice on the phone, and I didn't really care for any of her emotions or how she would be towards me, because up until that point I was like, I don't care for her. And the first thing my mom
get the story straight.
Exactly. And my mom also told me, she's like, leave her alone. That lady is not your business.
Right.
She didn't do anything to you technically, which is true.
Right. Was the second time you talked to her?
The second time was like a few weeks later.
Yeah.
And that's when I called her to be like, congratulations. This is my official congratulations.
Goddamn, yo, you have so much patience.
You're a diplomat.
And so, yeah, man, like you were just so respectful.
No, it's not respect. I'm not going to take that, because let me tell you what it was. I was being very passive aggressive because I didn't want to, it was unfair for me to call her and cuss her out. That's not right. And that's where I go more detail in the book.
Okay.
About like how I found out how she had. He didn't tell me, by the way, that she has kids. I found out another way.
Okay.
And
Detective work.
so that was detective work.
Yeah.
And so that was also another thing that I go really in detail in the book. So for our second conversation between me and her, it was just me being like, congratulations, you know, I'm just letting you know that I'm getting a divorce, and I just wish you guys all the best. And she was like, no, why would you get a divorce? Like, he really loves you. And I'm like, but
oh, isn't that sweet of
but
her?
I was like, but I don't understand what kind of love this is, you know, like, he married you so you guys can have your twisted love.
Yeah.
And then she was like, listen to me, we're all Muslims here. Men are allowed to marry up to 4 wives. My mother was married with multiple other women.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, there's my uncles, or, you know, I can pick out somebody that's married to 4 women.
Yeah.
But where the way I was raised, my mom and dad are only married to each other.
Right.
And I was raised in Canada, and I have never.
But how come she doesn't understand? Hold on. So another thing that I want to point out, and guys, like I said, we can't go through every single post. Feel free to go on her Instagram, The First Wife, no spaces, or her Facebook, Nawal Adamz with a Z, aka Z. Get all your information from there. But one of the posts that she put up, right? Yeah. You said that he did not, and what do we call him? Abdi. Okay, that's yeah. So because there's so many out there, right? Yes. That's great. So Abdi, he did not allow you as his wife when you guys were married. He did not like it when you put up pictures of yourself on social media. Yeah. Right. And when a man, what are some of the reasons why a husband would not want his wife? Now she's a woman that wears a hijab. Mm-hmm. You know, she's here. She's fully covered up. So I don't see you as a sister that would flaunt her body in that manner, right? Yeah. And respect to whoever, and I'm not judging anybody, but I'm asking you, Bueller, if you were a husband to say that to your wife, just give me the number one reason.
I mean, it comes down to eyes, right? Like you want your wife to yourself. This is just logic.
Yeah. That's the key thing that you said right there.
It's the eyes. You want your wife to yourself.
To yourself. So going back to that, if you as a man want your wife to yourself, it is in your traits to be possessive. Yeah. You want, when something is delicious, when I have a delicious burger in front of me, I don't like to share it with nobody. I want the fries, the burger, the drink, everything is mine. That is the same way I am. I am the exact same way with men. Yeah. Food and men are the same to me. That's what I'm trying to get to. But nah, for real. So what I'm trying to So what I'm trying to say is that if he was like that with you, then why didn't he understand?
I think that is something maybe another man can answer, but I don't know. I feel like men, what they feel, they know we're built differently, but then they don't want to understand that we're built differently. So like when I asked him like, why would you do this? He's like, but it's halal. And I'm like, okay, good, it's halal, good for you. Yeah. But for me, I felt like you want me to understand that Allah made this halal for you, but you're not understanding that Allah has created me as a woman,
as a human being,
with feelings that you don't have. Right. So I feel like there's a huge disconnect there with, especially, I don't know if it's Somali men in general, but like just men in general, they don't feel that disconnect.
Right. All right. Well.